So Megan, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
For a cup of coffee on the couch to talk about technician job opportunities and things that we can do to elevate our career and get technicians talking about different ways and different avenues that they can go down. I know that I hear a lot of technicians who get frustrated where they are and they don't feel like they're being utilized a lot. What kind of things do you do and what did you do in your career to kind of get out of that and take you where you are today?
The first thing I did was really look for a practice where I knew I was going to be utilized. I've been where I've been for 15 years now because the doctors trust the technicians to do our jobs, to do what we were trained for. And I know it's really hard to tell a technician, maybe this isn't the right practice for you if you're not being utilized, but that I think is a big part of it, is look for somewhere that's going to let you use your skills. Secondly was that I realized pretty early on what I enjoy doing. I enjoy training. And so I would tell my boss, this is what I like to do. I like the training aspect of my job. So then when new things open up in that avenue, then they knew, oh, Megan's talked about this before. Let's give her this opportunity. And lastly was to work on that training on my own, that I would start by putting together just a 10-minute talk for my coworkers on a particular subject that I was interested in. And so start doing that training, prove to everybody that this is what I want to do, and then try to move forward.
So now you're on the floor at Dove. You're like the face of On the Floor at Dove. Like, how did that happen? Was that your idea just because you love training?
It kind of was. It kind of was this perfect, everybody having the same thought at the same time. I was in the ICU talking to a technician friend of mine who now does all of our filming. So speaking of somebody who has interests outside of the veterinary field, he is really into filming and editing and sound mixing, and he had all these skills, and we were talking about how we could better train our staff. And so, well, maybe I can take my cell phone and I can film you placing a central line, and then we'll show that to the new technicians as they come in. And that turned into, well, if we need this, everybody needs this. And our hospital management was talking about how we could expand the teaching arm of the mission of our hospital. And so it all just kind of came together. And because I'd shown such an interest in training, they said, Megan, do you want to take this on and kind of run with this and be responsible for the medical content for this website? And so kind of reluctantly, there are not a lot of technicians who are really interested in having their face on camera all the time.
What? So, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, there are no introverts in this field at all. But it's been a really fun ride and just something I'm really passionate about, and it really came from talking about my ideas and making sure that my managers knew what I was interested in and where I wanted my career to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
What advice do you have, if a technician comes up to you at a conference and they say, listen, I'm at a one doctor practice and I just don't I feel kind of stuck. Like, what advice do you give them so they can kind of stay in the field and keep that passion ignited?
Yeah. First of all, is to do CE. I'm so happy to see so many technicians at a big conference like this, because every time I listen to somebody lecture, I get really excited. I can bring this back. I want to do this better. Now I know this different skill. I can look for this different piece of equipment. I can just network with people. Just get out of your shell. It's really hard, but talk to somebody next to you and ask them, where do you work? How do you do this at your practice? And exchange emails. Just try new things. I tell people to get outside of their practice. If you are working in a small animal practice, ask if you can do relief at an equine practice or a mixed animal practice, and it's terrifying. I have done equine anesthesia and it's out of control.
Yeah, that stuff is nuts.
But it's totally different. I get to use my skills. I get to use different skills. I tell people emergency hospitals are always looking for relief. So start working a Saturday once a month at an emergency hospital, or even just go there and observe and see what else is out there, and just try to get out of your shell a little bit. It's really easy to get stuck in one place, and especially if you only have one doctor, so you're only learning from one single person. Get out of that little world and see what else is out there. And you don't have to quit your job. You don't have to go be an equine anesthetist, but try something new. Get on Facebook, network at conferences, do what you can to just kind of break out of your shell a little bit, and it helps to reinvigorate the passion in what we all do.
Okay. Thanks, Megan.
Yeah,
Thanks for
you're
hanging
welcome.
out
Thanks,
and having
Tasha.
a cup of coffee with me.